Hello and welcome to our Financial Review 2025. Hong Kong's economy got off to a slow start with a looming U.S. tariff war affecting exports and uncertainty in the catering and retail sectors. With cuts in interest rates and a record year for IPO listings would help the city finish 2025 strong.
The year began with modest expectations as the city was looking forward to 2025. But some business owners were concerned about the ongoing geopolitical conflicts and an impending U.S. tariff war. Johnny C. runs a Hong Kong-based toy manufacturer. He expected toy sales would increase in 2025.
Definitely they will be facing some challenges such as tariff and war, but we're also expecting that the interest rate cut will release more purchasing power. So globally, we believe that people will be spending money on their kids.
Earlier in the year, the government forecasted GDP growth would be between 2% to 3%. By mid-November, the government revised its full-year economic growth forecast up to 3.2%. The U.S. tariffs on goods from China was a major concern for Hong Kong traders. Import duties range from 10% to as high as 145% during the year.
Because we see buyers are increasingly looking into sustainable products.
Irina Fan leads the Hong Kong Trade Development Council's research department. In February, it was projecting Hong Kong exports would grow by 4% in 2025 amid an uncertain economic outlook.
It all depends how U.S. may really impose tariffs, so how widely they're being affected for its major trading partners. If all her major trading partners being affected, that could be very negative for the global trade flow. And Hong Kong is a very, very international trade-dependent economy, so that will, could be negative for Hong Kong.
We have this is a gift set. We have two massage wand and a bottle of massage oil. So for this one, you could have a feeling here. This is so warm.
It's warm, yeah.
Yeah, we have for heat setting, 45 degrees Celsius to 58 degrees Celsius.
And do Americans buy this product?
Oh yes, they love it.
But then with the U.S. tariffs, are you expecting to sell to the Americans?
Oh well, after yeah, it would be just a.
2025嗰個貿易戰爭於聽日先錄，聽日錄首個月。
The electronic products are made in Guangdong and Jiangsu provinces. In 2024, the company exported 50% of their products to Europe, 40% to Asia, and 10% to the U.S. When the new U.S. tariffs were imposed, all of his American deals were placed on hold.
Nobody knows what would be the final tariff that we need to pay. So there must be some reluctance. Everybody they just want to on hold for the USA market at this time. But luckily, most of our customers will be in Europe and Asia, so the impact on us is not that huge at this time.
If the tariffs remain high, Herbert isn't expecting any orders from the U.S. this year. And in the long run, the company is considering assembling some products in Mexico.
If they are not made in China, if they could be classified as like maybe made in Mexico, then the tariff impact will not be that much.
He plans to expand the markets of Southeast Asia and Europe to make up for the loss in U.S. sales. Irina Fan says Hong Kong suppliers are relatively well prepared for the U.S. tariff hikes because the traders have diversified their export markets since the first Trump presidency when the trade war was started against China.
I think many of the success case that they mentioned about is like, I did a very successful deal with clients from ASEAN or clients from Middle East. I think that is the strong growth with new partners and new market.
The director of research says Chinese-made products transshipped through Hong Kong to the U.S. make up a small percentage of Hong Kong's overall exports, and the impact of the U.S. tariffs on the city's trade will be moderate.
only 50% of Hong Kong's exports to the U.S. Really sourcing from mainland, and the other 50 are from the rest of the world. So putting everything together, still our assessment is that only about 3% of Hong Kong's total export will be affected. So I would think that if you're talking about the overall impact, probably likely to be moderate. It hurts, but it won't kill us.
For the first 10 months of 2025, the city's exports increased by 13.8% year on year.
The export sector is also an important sector, contribute around 16% of the Hong Kong economy. Tariff policy so that's why Hong Kong export is still quite stable and
我聽同郭富榮同埋
Visitor arrivals grew to more than 41
我都係先由你出門，今次同郭富榮。
10 months of 2025, less than the 56 million visitor arrivals
郭富榮
in
嗰度
2019. The tourism industry was still trying to recover to the pre-pandemic levels.
After COVID, I believe our industry is still not yet in recovery. Maybe it's because of the economic not very well, and the average income of the people also not as well as before the COVID. So that's why maybe they were consider not doing so many traveling.
And the visitors weren't spending very much. Retail sales took a hit. For the first 10 months of 2025, retail sales dropped by 0.2% year on year.
of course you can see that although we have more visitors, but the amount that they spend in Hong Kong actually dropped.
或者 N288
They don't even stay in Hong Kong.
And the outlook for the catering sector was uncertain. Restaurant receipts dropped 0.3% in the third quarter year on year. Jonathan Lam is a third generation helping run a family-owned food distribution business. It also operates more than a dozen restaurants in the city, including hot pot, buffet, and Western eateries. Since last year, many residents have been heading to the mainland to dine out.
The border was opening up into Shenzhen, and so a lot of people were crossing the border to eat hot pot for half the price, or for different Western meals for half the price. And so I think that's put a lot of pressure on the Hong Kong restaurant industry.
Now Hong Kong eateries are offering better value for money products to attract customers.
So what we've got here is an amazing piece of orange-fed Wagyu beef from Australia, and this is a ribeye. So it's one of the most beautiful pieces
N288
of a cow.
我建議 M288 新增嗰個
Still an amazing cut forward, but that's
嗰個通宵線，我建議
this one, right?
So is this cheaper than the ribeye?
30 to 40% cheaper.
So it's good value for money.
It's very good value for money. I eat it myself, and I sell it in my restaurant.
The uncertainty in the catering sector contributed to the 3.8% unemployment rate for the September to November period.
Another situation is in two particular sectors. One is the construction industry, the other is retail catering. So I think that one of the reasons is imposition of labor. Of course, the downturn in the property market, and also the trend of that people are going to Shenzhen construction also make the retail sector weak.
Inflation in the SAR grew at 1.4% in the first 11 months year on year. The higher prices were felt at the flower market in Prince Edward over the Chinese New Year period.
Tangerine or dahlia. Me and my family love orchids. The flowers seem more expensive this year, especially the orchids. In previous years, it was only $300, $400 a pot, but it has gone up to over $500.
Hong Kong is expected expected to rank first globally for IPO funds raised in 2025, reclaiming the top spot in global IPO rankings since 2019, according to KPMG. By mid-December, Hong Kong had 100 deals and raised 272 billion Hong Kong dollars, an increase of 210% compared to a year earlier. The top ranking was driven by a record number of A+H listings. CATL, the world's largest manufacturer of batteries for electric vehicles, raised 41 billion Hong Kong dollars. It was the largest stock listing in Hong Kong and globally this year.
Listing on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange signifies our broader integration into the global capital market. And marks a new starting point for our efforts to promote a global zero-carbon economy.
EV obviously Chinese government is very supportive, and there's a high growth potential. It's the world-leading battery company. So I think for one of the reasons, so it could expand to overseas markets. So Hong Kong could be a platform to get access to the overseas investor.
While mainland companies listing in Hong Kong is a trend, in June, mainland authorities allowed Greater Bay Area companies listed in Hong Kong to also list on the Shenzhen Stock Exchange. The market believes this will attract more mainland companies to list in Hong Kong, but it may also intensify competition between the Hong Kong Stock Exchange and the Shanghai Stock Exchange.
Most importantly, we are not competing but cooperating. This indirectly promotes cooperation between the mainland and Hong Kong. More is needed. We will become more diversified and have closer ties with the mainland. We should attract more investors and issuers to list in Hong Kong.
When we return, a look at how cuts in the interest rates affected the financial and property markets, and ongoing tensions between China and the U.S. Stay with us.